Good morning. Already somebody said, how wonderful. I don't know. I'm running around with chicken that's head cut off. I forgot to do something. Yeah. Bleh. Why did I get rid of this? Cancel. Yeah. Cancel. Okay. Okay. So let me see if I open up preview, and then it'll allow me to scan. You see, I'm going to do page 80 today. And I hadn't scanned it yet. I'm not used to being this far ahead. Okay, the scanner's opening. So I guess I'll let me get myself off the screen. Yeah, at least put myself partially in there. Sheesh. Okay. And this one's going to be like the previous page. I'll probably have to redraw most of it because I'm not crazy about it. Yeah, I gotta have to redraw a lot of it. Gee, I didn't think I was gonna get ahead this far. Anyway, 300 dots per inch. Yeah. Some people say you should do 600 dots per inch so you can do big, posters and junk like that. I'll get around to that maybe someday. Okay. Well, didn't I already do this? Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay, now get rid of it. Yeah, I want to get rid of that. I don't need it now. Okay. So just save it. And what are you going to save it as? I guess I'll save it as page 80 just for a little while on the desktop. Okay, then open up my opening screen and try not to. Hey, everybody's so happy it's Friday. Dang. Been reading the newspaper all morning long, so I guess I'm upset. So many horrible things going on. Well, I can't do anything about it. I'm just doing comics today. It's kind of a respite not to have to worry about it that much. So let's just get ready for what might be going on. On a desktop. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm not the most popular live broadcaster in the world, so I can step away for a second and help my wife, which is always, and of course, how about we not have that crap on? Okay, I'm going to mute this and go help my wife do something. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I'm back. Anyway, let me just put this in full screen. What am I looking for? Oh, this. I guess I'm looking for that. Thought I'd already done it. Okay, I'm gonna lay that aside for a while. It's gonna have to be a lot of work done on it. It's not so wonderful. And I'm at this one. This is pretty rough when I started it too, so I got plenty of time. A couple of weeks ahead. Let's look at page 78, so we have some idea of what we're up to. I think I'm just now at the point of just adding shadows now on this. This is not going to take long, so I'll probably devote most of this stream to fixing page 80. So here we are at the point of just doing the shadows. Shadows have to be multiply layer, not dark, and that would mess everything up. And I got two shadows. Well, I just put them. I use this one for right now. So I want it to be a somewhat cooler version of this, so I would add probably more cyan. So let's put this up at 40. Yeah, a little cooler. Okay. This is the day I go nuts. Okay. So let's there's not gonna be much in the way of shadows, I don't think. What am I doing? Okay. So let's put shadows right here. Kind of always plan to put a shadow there. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to approximate that this is a limb. Or, who suggests this is a limb? Oh, what I forgot, I have to put the blood on his shirt. So let's do that right now. I'm going to add a second layer of color, which has to be multiply also. Call it color 2. Well, let me, remember that this is 40, 33, 32. Let me make a note of that. All my pencils are. That led to a bunch of these pencils. 40, 33, 32. Okay, now at least I know that. Now, I have 2 viewers, now I have 1. None. That's a lie. Who cares? Okay, so now let's look at page. We should look at page 77 because it has the pattern for the blood stains on Blue Boy's shirt. So where's 77? Boy, I'm really gonna get confused today. It's gonna be one of those days. So let's bring this over here so I can see the dang thing. And this went all the way up down there. I don't know why. Anyway, here we go. Kind of takes away from that face as being a vocal area, but you got to be consistent. I can't have blood on a shirt in one panel and then it's all gone. Even Tide can't do that. Maul says to hit that thing in cold water. Yep. Okay. And I can play around with okay. It does that. So I can at least minimize that. Okay, so now we got old Blue Boy has himself his stain his back. That's strange. Bunch of junk, man. Okay, back to oh man. 40, 33, 32, and 0. That's what I wanted. Okay. So back to that. So So I was putting shadows that should be. I'm going to just experiment this. This is a separate layer, and I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to ruin something. One of the wonderful things about the digital world is that you can always get rid of it pretty dadgum easily. You can't make it too complex, a shadow, then it'll just start to, it won't hold plane. It'll look all squirrely. So it's got to, so it's got to, I have to mess around with it for a while to figure out how that's actually going to be done, because one of those things you can have in your head, but until you see it, it's not really done. It's sort of looking like it, isn't it? And I should accentuate some shadows here so that you get some feeling that maybe there's some tree limbs coming at this boy. The shadows and stuff like that. I remember doing still lifes in college in painting class and having the most horrible time getting a bag that was underneath a table that was covered in shadow mostly to look as if a shadow was laying over it. And then I finally discovered that you do that by softening the edges, obliterating some of the edges of the bag. So the bag is it's like its farthest edge is hidden. You don't see it. And it just comes out of the shadow. And then it worked. Before that it was floating. The whole bag was floating. And so after that, the bag laid down and I was home free. One of my favorite paintings up there. I let my brother take care of it while I was in grad school, but he lost it. He just lost it. I love my brother, but he wasn't very good at taking care of my paintings. Oh well. Fortunately, I have a slide of it. If he's ever listening, he'd probably say, "Hey, that was my fault." That's probably my fault because I came home after grad school and it was sitting. It was on his one of his bedroom walls. I should have just taken it. I said, okay, I'll take this back with me to New York. But I didn't. I was a big dummy. I had a car, drove there, the whole 9 yards. Dang. Most times when I had a car in New York City, which is really a dumb move, but hey. I was getting myself in a lot of trouble with that car. I kept driving it to work at Utrecht, and then so difficult to find a parking space between Astor Circle and Union Square. I'd sometimes park it right next to the Hells Angels um, headquarters, and Hells Angels had orange parking cones that would denote where their parking spots were. Well, I'd remove the parking cones um, and park there, and then when I come back, the parking cones would be on top of my car. I stopped doing that. I figured, okay, you've been warned. You got away with it once. Don't do it twice. I feel like I'm. This is my little. This page is occasionally you come up with these things. This is definitely without any real source material or anything. This is sort of like my homage to Wally Wood. And if you don't love Wally Wood, I don't want to even talk to you. Wally Wood's one of my favorite all-time comic artists. Tragic guy who unfortunately did himself in when he found out he had Parkinson's disease. He should have bit the bullet and taken it, but he didn't. He should have. Lots of people have Parkinson's disease and get along pretty well, you know. I'm not saying it's easy, but heck, better than being on the ground. Anyway, so I'm sort of mourning for Wally Wood, even though it happened. Why? When did it happen? I think it happened in the 90s. Yeah, it happened in the 90s. So many people give up hope. You should never give up hope. There's always something coming down the pike that'll be all right. So let me see. I was right to make this a cool gray. It helps a lot for it to be cool. If it's warm, I don't think it would work nearly as well. What about this guy? over here. He's probably the only one who really needs any shadow on him. I can leave the rest off. Let me see. Probably need some of this going on here, some of that there. Beelabo. Starting to get happy about this page. I'm glad I took a sketch and turned it into something, because it was an okay sketch, but it obviously needed a whole lot of work. Just like I think this next page needs a whole lot of work. There's a lot more panels too, which is sad because I'll be working on it probably for days. Okay, this down here probably has to all be in shadow. It's all this. Oh, there. So let me see. Probably should leave all this back here alone, all this stuff, because that at least approximates atmospheric perspective, which is an awful good way to create depth in your work. Should I do that? Let me see if that works. It actually does work. It helps make his face a little more readable. Shame I can't take a poll and say, hey, how do you like it? Think I'll stop? And that's probably where I should stop. Save that thing. If you're watching this, there's probably a link to my website at the bottom of the page, and you'd be well served to go take a look at it. But It's all up to you. Now look at that. I'm looking at this on my phone, and it looks pretty good. Yep. So let's start doing the hard stuff. Page 80 will be a lefty page. So get lefty. This needs a lot of work. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. Okay, here's lefty, which I don't need that. And up here in the layer here, I'm only going to need about like this. And delete that. And come over 1 pixel, delete some more. Got that. Up. Needed to go another pixel. Delete that. Yeah. Okay. So now I'll take page 80, which is real iffy, and adjust the size. At 6.25. Select all, copy. Come over here to lefty and put her in there. Okay. And then adjust the size. Oh, help me. Not that. I don't need that. I guess I'm going to have to lock all these other layers. I can get rid of that one. Lock that layer. Otherwise, it'll just, okay. Okay. There we go. Well, I don't know what goes on here. Yeah, okay. If I can make it closer to the actual original dimensions, then do it. But I want to get rid of that pencil line there. So let's leave it like that. Okay. So as you can see, it needs a lot of work. Let's get rid of the tone layer because that'll just mess me up. Look at this. Well, I'm gonna have to really redraw that. That's gonna just that's gonna be one of my major projects today. But let's take this and let's bring it down to grayscale. I can replace that tone layer because if you don't, you get artifacts, you get halos around things, and when you do the some of these levels and everything, you don't get what you really want. What you really want is to turn it into an ink drawing. What would be more like an ink drawing, which is what I'm getting. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm going to put another layer on this. This is line art 1, and then line art 2, and probably should yeah, just make this a little more opaque. Yeah, because I'm going to draw over all this stuff. Yeah, which is what I did on this page. It worked out all right. This page was bluey when I got started on it. And so if I can turn this into something, this is really nice the way that when you just tweak it a bit, you can get the illusion of shadows from trees on this guy's face. There's my Wallywood homage. That's my Wallywood homage. This one, I don't know what the heck this is. Okay, I'll just have to live with it. Okay, let me see. I need a smaller brush. Okay. Um, how do I start out with this guy? Gee. So, let's try doing this. Let's bring this back up to where it was, and then just kind of obliterate some of what's going on here, because it's just a little too. I think I can do a little bit better job than this. Yeah, well, it's just okay. Let's do it this way. Let's just make it real light, and then draw over the dang thing. Yeah, make it multiply. So, okay. Now, see what I'm getting out of this. Am I getting anything out of it? Gee. Oh, that's because I'm with the wrong tool. Tell you, it's getting old is rough. Okay. I think I should increase the size of this because it's really easy to. Um, okay. Okay. Better like that. So let me see. I do a lot of feathering and everything to fix that up, but hey, that's life. So I don't know if I'm making it better. Okay, let me see what's it look like now. Okay, that's getting better. Even though it's basically the same drawing, it's just driving me nuts about it. And so I'm making it here. I was making it look as if he was wearing kind of knee breeches that Blue Boy is wearing, and I didn't want that to look like that, so I got to fix that. And I forgot to put in borders. I got a memory like a flower. I'm getting to be like Bernie Wrightson, who back in the 70s, I remember somebody quoting that old Bernie had a memory like a flower. Well, he may have a memory like a flower, but man, I can draw. Okay. So, um, we got that. Now, I got to put in the Dad Burn panel borders. Dang. That getting all worse all the time. So now I do that. You can see that I really got them skewed when I drew this page. There wasn't anything right about that, but I'll live. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll copy that and I'll paste it. I'll just drag it down to here. That saves me a lot of trouble. Yeah. Let me see what it probably could reduce the size of that a tiny bit. Yep. No, that's correct. That makes me want to. Okay, now this probably needs to be. Needs to be smaller than it is too. What was that? Huh? Oh, I see. Okay. Let's make the bottom one correct. Okay, I like that. Maybe a little bit bigger. And okay, so we got one of them to do, and what I'll do is I'll just turn that sucker. That over. Come on. Okay. Now just collapse. 1, 2. Okay, collapse them all. Now I've got my border again. What was that? I don't need that. Okay. So, got that. Though I should get rid. Stop that. Get rid of that right there. Just get rid of that. Just confusing. Like I need more confusing. I should have just enlarged that a bit so I didn't mess with that. There's no big problem here is because I'm going to be redrawing all this junk. Some of this is, sometimes I have a real good day, and then sometimes I just have a day and go, let's get over this. Every thing you do can be pure gold. Yeah. pure copper. Whatever case. Okay. So I got to really redraw that thing. Look at how bad that is. Oh, well. Okay, now I'm on the right. Okay, I'm on the right. Now, what I'm going to do is what I was doing with just, darks and lights. I'd rather do with color. A little easier to do it with color. Makes everything much more understandable. So maybe I'll just accentuate parts here. Dang. Ugh. That dang was about weird, kind of like electrical shock running down my leg. Part of being a diabetic. Oh well. There are worse things. Quite manageable. Blood sugar was 111 this morning, which is for a type 2 diabetic is quite manageable. This page is going to take a while. So this page, I didn't just like boom, bam, boom. I like keep. Hey, look, I'm done. I'm being egotistical. I love this page here. I've been wanting to do a Wally-Wood homage for a long time, and I finally did it. I should save this. Save as. Let me see in page 080. Getting up there. We know it. Will be, well, I have a Kickstarter campaign that's starting in July. And if it's successful enough, I'll easily have the most successful iteration of the campaign would be that I do up to page 82, which would make it an 86 page comic. And so this is page 80, so it'll be easy to get the whole thing done. I'm going to go back and rework some of the early parts of the comic. Some of the drawings, some of the coloring. Early on in all this, I was getting chops back that I had close to 50 years ago. So it takes a while to get that going. And then I got all my other experience as an artist. 50 years ago, I was completely untrained. I'd taken a semester. No, I'd been in college for a year, and then I got a nice little notice from the federal government that probably I'd be over in Southeast Asia in a short period of time. So that kind of everything just kind of fell apart after that. I didn't go because they rescinded the draft, but it sure did shake my boots. I was going to go. I'd already said, I was up for it. I didn't want to, but, hey, nobody wanted to. I only had one kid who volunteered. He volunteered when he was 15. He was a friend of mine, Steve. He volunteered when he was 15, lied to get into the Marines. They caught him. He was almost in Vietnam. And they caught him, took him back, and said, "You got to finish high school, bud." But so I was totally untrained. I'd taken that year, and then I just ran off to Colorado after that and hung out with every man for a while, and then bummed around, and finally, after everything settled, went back to college. I realized I wasn't going to be doing what I thought I was going to be doing. Man, I was like Pinocchio. I ran into a lot of wolves and foxes. Well, one learns from experience. I don't think I like that. Cut out. Okay. Yeah. Oof. Let me see if I can get the Dodge tool to take some of that junk out. Let me see. Highlights. The mid. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So now I have to fix this guy. It's just yeah. So hmm. So so let's just see if I can build up from what sort of works. Okay. Now this is the deputy sheriff, so he's got to have the same hat. You can have a different hat. Okay, what's that look like? Well, it's looking a little bit better. Do-do-do-do. Yeah, that arm shouldn't be that damn long. One of the cool things about this little method I use for creating these drawings, which is not derived from comics, but from my long-standing study and admiration for Matisse and Picasso, is they would do drawings like this, like Igor Stravinsky. And Matisse especially did very, very simple contour line drawings of his models. And most of the time, you just leave them alone. Just very simple, da-da-da-da-da. And what they're doing is they are using some of the things they were taught during the classical part of their education, because Matisse's teacher was none other than William Bouguereau, who is the greatest academic realist painter of the 19th century. Probably he and Ingres. And there's some other ones that are really good, Gérôme and Gros and people like that. But Cézanne Degas considered Bouguereau to be the greatest artist of the 19th century. They were asked at the end of the 19th century, who's the greatest artist probably of this last century? And they both looked at each other and said, Bouguereau. But Matisse took his student. He just absolutely hated him. And who knows what the reason was. Bouguereau taught in such a manner, so he'd say, look, this is, if you want your painting to look like this, and he'd point to his paintings, which were, man, talk about it. It was like a combination of Leonardo and Raphael. At his high point, he mimicked Leonardo for many years. And but then as he really, really matured, the strange thing is that his greatest work was in his 70s, which makes me feel real good since I'm 67. Means there's hope for me. That maybe what I'm doing here will be the best thing I've ever done. Which is not saying a whole lot. Let me a little bit smaller, that pinpoint. when I was gearing up for this, I kept thinking about that little snippet about me in Dale Luciano's Survey of New Wave Comics. And all these years that I think I just had a little a printout, just that little part. I didn't actually own the comics journal that a friend had shown me. They weren't that easy to find back then, unless you had a. Yeah, I kind of left the whole thing behind. Anyway, I did not know that Dale Luciano was a drama and theater professor. If he would ever answer the letters that I've sent to him, because I wanted to kind of thank him for kind of inspiring me, I would tell him that much of the uh, beginnings of my maturing as an artist and a thinker came from Rolf Bieldi at Pratt. I'm sure he knows who Rolf Bieldi is or was. Come on, he's a drama and theater professor. He knows who the greatest Ibsen scholar in English is. Maybe the greatest Ibsen scholar, period. It's Fieldi. And he and I were buddies at Pratt. You know, we were good friends. And he had a big effect on me. And not just Ibsen, too. It was also Shakespeare and Greek drama. Boy, the things you learn. That's probably why I can finally have some hope of being able to write something. As I started looking at these sources and realizing how they did it. I should probably go back and leave all that alone. Yeah. It's probably better just as a regular, very, very simple drawing. Yeah, get rid of all that stuff in the hat and everything because it doesn't look good. Actually got lots of undos, and at least I got it out of the real difficult part of the face that would be real difficult to just my undos. Okay, I'll just let me see. I've got a layer of white underneath this, so I can just erase that. Yeah, just get rid of that. That's what I would do if I was just using pencil and paper. Anyway, so this drama, this theater professor says this stuff about me, and I go and study with one of the great drama scholars of our time. Also, one of the nicest people you ever meet in your whole life. Such a gentleman. And such a patient teacher. Because, man, I tell you, that Ibsen class I was in with him, there were some stinkers in there. And some people who did not know how to behave in public. And he just took it in stride. All those years of teaching, he realized that, he he was an artist, and he knew he had taught artists all those years, and artists can be a real goofy. He's much more patient than me. Yeah, to redraw some of this stuff. I guess I'll just have to do that. Just do that. That's life. We make it a smaller brush this time and enlarge it some. So I may just make this um, just line and let color do all the work. Feather some of the edges. Do some little hatching here and there, but not make it too complex. Now, what's it going to look like when it gets? It won't be so horrible. Da, 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 da. Yeah, what did I do back here? Not much. Okay. So, saying this is the edge of the building, and there's going to be all types of vegetation growing up around it, and that's the way it is. Um, and I could have put a bunch of stuff there, but I don't think I will. Yeah. That wasn't right. That creates confusion about those planes are. Oh, do, 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 do. So, this whole line thing comes out of Matisse and Picasso. And their thing probably comes out of the classical tradition of creating a very simple contour line drawing and then adding the modeling, the sense of volume through hatching and cross hatching, and we also use large swatches of value, different different tonal qualities, but they in their classical period, at least Picasso's classical period, he would mess with the modeling and everything. He just leave it at just a simple line drawing, which is similar. Well, he'd seen an Ang exhibition about 1918, and Ang's portrait drawings are very much like that. He doesn't. He has a limited amount of modeling in some of these portrait drawings because his lines were so spot on, perfect that many times just didn't need it. Or he would do, which is something that's something of a convention in a lot of classical drawing, in which you model an entire area and then leave the rest very simple, which is a way of accentuating that one area that you've modeled and want everybody to kind of focus on that one thing. It's the way you do it in drawing. In drawing, you accentuate that part that you want to be looked at and give that a whole lot of attention, and the rest is just very, very simple. It was very subordinated. So, okay. And so that lends itself perfectly to comics because You can do this very simple thing, and you let the color do the rest, like I did here. I did the kind of simple stuff and let the color, certain things that color can do that it's best to left to that. And then you do the line stuff, and it's all, of course, I did a lot of hatching here, which I may or may not do. Depends on where this goes. Yeah, I like that. Anyway. And back here, let me see, what do I got? Let's draw in some trees and stuff like that. Or just, what's going on here? Okay, how far does this go over? This far, okay. Well, I can't have one of these living streaming thing going on without talking about golf. Yesterday, the RBC tournament up in South Carolina started. And right off the bat, like the third or fourth hole, the guy I'm rooting for, Jordan Spieth, goes and makes a triple bogey. A triple bogey. That's been his big deal. It's like he'll go and he'll just like do a string of bogeys. This is a guy who, won 5 times in 2015, 2 majors, and just tore up the landscape with his golf. And then after he won the British Open, he just couldn't do a dang thing. He could not hit a fairway for the life of him. And I suspect it's because he was trying to change his swing. And he just messed everything up. Though there are precedents for this. Tiger Woods changed his swing in 1997, and took him a while to get his act together. Well, Spieth goes and makes a triple bogey on like the 4th hole he's out. Then he birdies the next hole. That's nice. That means he's only 2 under instead of 3. 3 over. And but then on the back 9, he birdies 7 out of 9 holes. So he birdies 8 holes. If it wasn't for that triple bogey, he'd be leading the tournament. He's 5 under. He has 8. He has 8 birdies, but he has that triple bogey, so he's 5 under par. and he's tied for 10th because the leader's only at 7 under par. So uh, it's not too far for him to actually, he could win. Just depends on what he does today, the other days, because if he's all over the place, his big problem is that he went out of bounds on that triple bogey hole, and he had to hit another tee shot. So he's already at 2 strokes, 2 maybe 3 strokes, and so by the time he got up to the place where he could use his irons, where he has a little more control, he was already in Bogeyville. So he triple bogeyed the dang thing. Then he goes on tear and no more bogeys and 8 birdies. This guy is he's just hard to figure out. And he gets back into his groove, and he can just hit fairways. When he hits fairways, nobody can stop him. But his iron play is phenomenal. But off the tee, I suspect it's because he's been messing with this swing for the last several years. And I don't know. I just watch golf. I understand it to a certain extent, but I haven't played golf since I was in undergraduate school. Because I just don't have enough time. It takes too much time to do that stuff. I got other things to do, like this. Just way, way, way too difficult. And now, even if I wanted to play, the green fees are crazy. Who wants to spend $250 play a game that you don't even play well? Golf's big thing is that it's a sport where businessmen get together and they talk and make deals and stuff like that, and go to the bar afterwards and stuff like that. That's not my life. I'm not a business corporate guy. Never have been. So that's all just, I love the game. Love watching it. Anybody who can birdie 7 out of 9 holes on the back 9 of any tournament is like, that's insane. That's like it's just so wild. Anybody could do that. I didn't take note of what what par was. Last week it was 70 at the Colonial. I don't know what par is for this tournament, but it was 70 last week. So if it was 70 this week, if he hadn't gotten that triple bogey, he'd hit a shot of 62, which is a phenomenal score anywhere. La 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 la. Okay. So it looks like I got that panel. Then I have to do this, which is this isn't as bad. This is okay. And what I may do with this is bring this back up to here, yeah. Bring this back up to now here in here. I'll take this and see what happens when I just get rid of it. Yeah, better. So that looks better. And this isn't horrible. I'm yeah, I got to redraw some of this stuff. I'm going to take a little break. It's not like anybody's watching this. So I'll be back in a second. So page 81. This doesn't look. This page, I might as well just show this off. I haven't scanned it. I haven't scanned it for a long time. This is page 81. So I won't have to mess around with that too much. This one though, I always knew I was going to have to go into it and rescue it. But tell you, when I finally get a different or new computer, the webcam, the eyesight will be a whole lot better. The eyesight that I'm using is poor. It's poor. But nothing I can do about that right now. So what do I need to do with this? I think I'm just gonna embellish parts of it so that old Clifford's body, which is right here, will kind of stand out. And I don't like this right over here. Some of these, that bothers me. So let's, uh, I might as well put a banner up here. This is where you go. You actually want to see the graphic novel from first. It'd be interesting because I'll do revisions of this, which is my main way of approaching anything. Is just revise it till it's as good as I can make it. But the webcomic, as it is right now, is captured by the Wayback Machine. So any version that I've done will always be preserved after a fashion. That is such a cool part of the Wayback Machine. That's how I got a lot of my old LND.com pages back to snuff. Is the little gaps that were in my backup of it. I guess it didn't back it up well enough. Were in the Wayback Machine. Back when I was doing animated GIFs for care2.com and stuff like that. And I was also doing the animated Flash short joke movies back in the 90s. But they became a bunch of control freaks, wanted to tell all the artists what to do, and then they wanted everybody to be anonymous. And we all just walked away. Said, okay, do it yourself. Oh boy. You think you can do it? You do it anonymously. I don't like that here. I don't like any of this. So I'm going to redraw a bunch of this. What I'll do right now is reduce the opacity of this a whole lot and go over it and see if I can do something better. Over here in line 2. Okay, I had this like that. It doesn't have to be drawn like it came out of the machine, which is fine and dandy, I guess. But my skill set isn't that advanced. Dang. That was good. Huh? Okay. So, let me see if that was a long move. Coffee. Fortunately, I make coffee in a big Godiva hot chocolate cup. And then I have a big thermos that I put to the side for times like these. So I still got hot coffee. Not anybody can live without coffee. I didn't drink coffee till I got to college. In college, you have to drink coffee because you have to stay awake. And the worst coffee I've ever had my entire life was in college. I was machines at Missouri State University in the got the name of that hall. Anyway, it's where the printmaking studio was. Printmaking and jewelry and photography were in that building. It was just the worst coffee ever. That could work. And I put up with that kind of coffee at restaurants and junk like that for years and years and years until I got to New York. And a girlfriend of mine said, "Go down to Soho. There's a coffee shop there where you can buy Italian espresso. And then you just drink it black. And it's not acidic the way that American coffee is really highly acidic, just bitter." And I started buying that stuff. And whoa, is that good coffee? Which now I just buy Pilon, and Pilon's the exact same stuff. Tastes just exactly like that stuff that cost me an arm and a leg in Soho. Now I buy at the grocery store for a brick of 10 ounces for $2.50. Always buy them on sale. Wait a second. I already had that, didn't I? So what I should oh, here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll erase this entire area here. You just get rid of it. See what that does. Boop, 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 boop. It's getting there. Oh, so okay. Get rid of that. Then I think I know what I'm going to do. That hand doesn't look so hot. It looks like he's arthritic. How could he pick that guy up? I'll fix that. Okay, I'll fix that. When in doubt, look at your own hand. Yep. When in doubt, look at your own hand. Yep. Now I'm channeling Jack Kirby here, so don't get too upset. Oh, that didn't work. In fact, that other one didn't work either. And get that out right there. And you got a Picasso hand. That's the way I always have a tendency to go back to old Picasso's Igor Stravinsky drawing. I love that drawing, boy. We used to do back when I just started teaching, I didn't know crap about teaching. I only knew what I'd done as an artist myself. That's really where you come from as a, especially beginning teacher. It's, what have I done before that worked for me? But any port in a storm, grabbing at straws and stuff like that. So I got Betty Edwards drawing on the right side of the brain. Now we know there's no such thing as the right side of the brain. And had them, the students, draw Igor Stravinsky by Picasso. That's better. Upside down. This is part of her regimen in her book. That it worked pretty well, on new kids. worked pretty well. Um, I was teaching at New World School of the Arts in Miami because the former head of chair of fine arts at Pratt had come down here to become the dean of visual arts, like that, for for New World, and he hired me because I'd known him up at Pratt when I worked at Pratt as the Drawing Resource Center director. Did that for a couple of years before I came down here. And so I was teaching there, and these kids using some of these techniques. And I figured a good one, which I just came out of my head, just from my own experience. I haven't drawn like Rembrandt in like 6 weeks. Woo! Of course, I had really dedicated, really high quality, committed students. So it always helps. You got high quality, committed students who just love to draw, and you're going to get something. But what I did is I went and bought a chalk set, a grayscale chalk set, which are commonplace now, but back then, man, it was tough to find them. So I got one of these, and I had everybody get a grayscale chalk drawing set, and you would I had them, and we had this huge still life in the middle of the room that the guys Tom Wyropa and Jim something or other, Jim Walker had built, and I had them draw what was closest to them in high contrast, what was farther away from them in middling contrast, and what was farthest away from them in the lightest colored chalk there was with very little contrast. And boom, I just taught them how to create atmospheric perspective in a chalk drawing, and I got some gorgeous drawings out of these kids. But it all started out with this little Stravinsky drawing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little lasso tool, I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to paste in place on that layer. Didn't work, but well, I will. It actually works because all you have to do is that. Yeah, and you got it. So you bring this back up. No, am I at 100%? No, am I? That was that wasn't a smart move. Okay, unfortunately I can redo that. I think I can redo that. Yeah. Down here, return this. Uh, hmm. Well, let's do it again. Line art 1. Yeah. Bring this up to that. Then bring this down. Now I've got it. Okay. So that's a little bit better. And that was really probably my first real sense of just simplifying drawing to the point where becomes you automatically make drawing and image making understandable, and you do it by cutting out the middleman. Just okay, we're going to use a medium that does it for you, and once you've seen it how it's done, you'll always be able to do it. You see, I draw in a somewhat clunky, clumsy manner at times, which is just okay. I've been doing this since I was a kid. This kind of scritchy, scratchy, distorted way of doing these silly drawings. Okay, we got that. Well, what happened there? Maybe, no, wasn't that? Something happened there. Let me see. Maybe just redraw that. Just redraw it. Not like the world's ending because I have to redraw this stuff. Okay, and now I got a problem with this thing over here. Jeez. Because this is really bad. This stinks. So I'm probably just gonna erase that whole dang part because it's unsalvageable. That's just junk. It's really bad. Let's go back to the drawing board. Yeah, it's just horrible. So I'll just redraw the whole thing. Doop. Okay. Yeah, let's just get rid of this whole area. It just stinks to high heaven. It's like that skunk song. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Stinking to high heaven. I never know why anybody sing that song, but now I do. La 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 la. Just get rid of it. At least the next page isn't so horrible. The page after that is one of my favorite pages in the whole book. Just, man, I don't know what happened that day. Everything clicked. Lots of horses in it. One of the next page has that big mule. That'll be fun. I don't have to mess with that. I got to already get that one down. So this one. Okay. Okay, that hand is going. I'm going to do it up here just because there's nothing. Well, there's this on that layer. Yeah, but there's nothing on here. Um, oh, no, I was wrong there. Okay, I had that all wrong. Just get rid of all that. Okay. It's down like that, isn't it? Yeah, that. Okay. Now, Oh, that I got rid of that. Okay. Back up here. I'm glad I did it on that second layer. Okay. Oh, that was wrong. Okay, now I know what I'm supposed to do there. Yeah. Where is it there? Yeah, I can play around with that a little bit. There, that's looking more like what it should. Yeah. Okay. So really this thing should go up like that. There like this. Uh, I'm gonna have to probably erase that whole area. Get rid of it. Go down here and get rid of it. It's confusing me too much. Okay, down here, erase all that. What's this? Wrong one. Boo ba 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 bo. Okay. Okay, down here, do a little bit of erasing. Let me see. I might be able to redraw that a little bit better. If I drew it like, I think that'd be more likely that be in this kind of a posture. Yeah. So get rid of that down here. That shouldn't work either. Let's get rid of the whole thing. Wife's bringing home the groceries. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back, non-existent audience. Okay, let me see. So, that right? What here? What should be there? What's going on here? That's working. Okay. I didn't like that. All right, there has to go through some stuff. Okay. Oh, dang. Okay. Step forward. There. I don't like that either. Dang. That's a little better. Okay. Now, down here, gonna have to maybe get rid of some of this. Get rid of this whole thing right here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. It makes it a little more understandable, a little more readable. And okay, so start to get there. Then give a little more detail to that area there. Separate that hand from the blanket. Okay, there's going to be a guy back here who's also carrying. So I have to. Well, that didn't work. Let's just separate this guy from all the other stuff in the background. Or worry about all that other stuff. So what's it look like? That looked better than it did. Yeah. Ah, let's let's just be satisfied with that for a few seconds at least. Okay. There's what about over here? This isn't so horrible. A few things. Well, let's tackle this guy over here because he's. So I'm gonna. We'll get rid of most of this stuff. It's mostly this area here I'm real happy with. This here, that's not so bad. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm not crazy about that over here. Or that. Okay, do some cleaning up here. Maybe use the dodge tool for some of that. Where am I? Huh? Yeah. And maybe just give up the ghost and use the eraser. Yep. I don't like this over here either. Too much, just like a bunch of scratches. Okay, let's see if I can redraw some of this stuff. Okay, so now let's use a little more subtle modeling here, hatching. That's what I had done before. I'll have to go overboard on it. Let the color do the rest in the coloring phase. Probably should do a little cleanup right there. Yeah. Like that whole area of the ear. The outer part's okay, but that noise in there I don't like. So just Okay, where's my? There it is. I lost my pen tool for a second. Okay. Hmm. ADD. I wonder if I should give that a little bit of a going over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a little more erasing. That wasn't working. Fix that in a second. Okay. Swish. Ugh. Make this a little less like and I'm going to probably erase this, guys. Some of this. Not too crazy about it. And let me see. I'm not so crazy about this right here. Just let the color do that. A little bit of accentuating here is needed. So it doesn't look like such a thin drawing. Okay, let's save that sucker and say sayonara. I will see you on Monday. So this is what we did today. Page 79. Move it over here. Let me see. 33%. Let's make it 30%. There. That's what I did this morning. Finishing this up. And then redrew a bunch of this. So that'll be okay. I'll color this on Monday. So a couple weeks ahead, because I'm about to 80. We have 81 and 82 to do early next week, and I'm like 2-3 weeks ahead. I'm at the end of chapter 4. End of chapter 3, which was back to work. So that's good. Do that again. So now we're back to, okay, this is Blue Boy Brown, David Greg Taylor. See you on I'll maybe host some watch parties because I haven't broadcast any of this stuff at night on Facebook, so I might do a little bit of that. So see you on the other side.